Coming up, find out what happens when we hit the streets of New York and ask,
The MTA approves price hike for subway fares. Do you think paying $3 is too much?
Is social media more helpful or harmful, and why?
Good question. What keeps you here in New York City despite the challenges?
Do you think congestion pricing is working? I don't have a car. I live up here. I walk and take the train everywhere. No, there's obviously you see there's a bunch of cars everywhere still. I think people still pay. It's New York City. People are going to drive if they want to drive. Is it making the city a little more money? Yeah, probably.
No. I mean, maybe, but I really wouldn't know how to answer that because I don't drive. However, I do take the bus. And from what I see, I mean, we still have traffic. I think for whatever is gained by it, it's not enough, to have higher the prices. I think that was a mistake.
Is tipping getting out of control? What kind of services shouldn't be tipped? It depends. There are some places where, previously, before like the whole Square iPad thing existed, you just wouldn't have tipped, right? That didn't exist, and then when those popped up, it became kind of a thing for it to just always be there by default. For services where the person is making, their full hourly wage or whatever it's meant to be, then maybe there shouldn't be a tip, like they're doing their job. But, obviously for like waiters and waitresses who get paid way under, minimum wage and things for their hourly because they depend on their tips, those things should be tipped.
Yeah, I would say so. If I go to McDonald's and I'm doing a self-checkout and there's an option for 5% or 10% on there, I don't think so. I was a server for many years. I think being a server, you should get 20%. That's kind of at minimum. But if I'm going and doing self-checkout or if I'm going and picking up food, I do think tipping is kind of ridiculous in that realm.
The NYPD has reported historically low crime rates. Why do you think a majority of New Yorkers still don't feel safe? Oh, because we ride the subway. Because, there are still things that are going on that the numbers, for whatever reason, are not reflecting. And I have no idea why, unless they're just not counting things that are not reported, which I think could be the case. And, I mean, just at the 96th Street train station, a lot of indecent exposure. And, a lot of fights and stuff go on there. The workers are all, oh God, what they go through, being whether yelled at or almost attacked, and not just them, us, those who are riding the train, or, those in bad situations. It's a lot of things that are going on with crime that, that are still happening.
I don't feel like crime rates equal to safety. I live in probably the most dangerous area in New York, in the Bronx. And look, I feel safe, but I'm gonna go take the train home after this, and I promise you, I'll see at least 15 people breaking the law in some way that could make someone feel unsafe. I still also think a lot of people end up feeling unsafe with homelessness, and that's just still a problem that hasn't really been addressed in the city very well.
The MTA approves price hike for subway fares. Do you think paying $3 is too much? Yes, I do. I think New Yorkers pay enough and they shouldn't have to pay more, and we all need to use the subway.
No, I personally don't think that paying $3 is too much. However, I think that the engine of New York City is our subway system. The reason why we can do what we do is that, the fastest way above ground is actually below ground. So of the working class people, I want to be able to make sure that they can get to their jobs in the most affordable way in order to keep this thing we call New York City running. And so that means immigrants and folks who are sort of middle wage earners, middle class folks and stuff like that. So I think the lower the subway fare is, the better for all of New Yorkers.
We've got more questions and more views coming up. First, let's travel around the city and NYC it.
Street Easy named the top 10 neighborhoods for dog lovers, and the Upper West Side easily made the cut.
Right, you got Central Park, you got Riverside Park, you got Dog Park here, Dog Park 10 blocks north. I think in terms of greenery, space, dog-friendly establishments plus park space, I think there's no better place to have a dog in Manhattan, easily.
I think it's probably the proximity to the park here and the fact that you can sort of walk out your front door and be out in nature very quickly. It's great for them. And he gets to chase all the squirrels he wants.
Well, we love that there are parks on both sides of the neighborhood, and you can go kind of in any direction and get some good time outside up here.
Really, the nature of people who live here is that we love living creatures who need to be loved as we do.
Pet expert Adrienne Arden says the list is pretty spot on.
I've had a dog training business in New York City for over 35 years. And I would say that we pretty consistently see those neighborhoods being the spots where they are sort of in the best sense of the word, the hot zones for pet parents.
Other neighborhoods who earn the honor include Dumbo, Long Island City, Astoria, and Mott Haven. The list was created by looking at the amount of pet-friendly units available, number of registered dog licenses, and access to dedicated dog parks and dog runs.
New York City dog people are really, really focused on making sure they give their pets the best quality of life possible. And I think part of that is they make an effort every day to make sure their dogs have really nice social encounters when appropriate, and that they give them walks that are really enriching. And that includes going to local parks.
Just sitting at a dog park and relaxing is a serotonin boost because you got the cute puppies and dogs that just come around and just what's not to love, right? Dogs everywhere. It's a dream. It's this is what heaven looks like, right?
On the Upper West Side, Jennifer Williams, Fox 5 News.
This is Speak Up New York, the hot topic show where your views come first.
How has New York changed since you lived here? Okay, so I was actually born in New York City. I was born in East New York. And since I've lived here, I think I've seen sort of a massive growth in terms of what's happening with real estate. Because, Island of Manhattan, you only can kind of go upwards. I've seen a lot more expansion of that. I've also seen quite a bit of displacement. Folks that are in, communities that have been around for some time, essentially be displaced through gentrification, things of that nature.
There are little things you always notice. It's more of the, I don't know, the shops closing, stuff like that, the little parts of the community. I mean, oftentimes, I live in the Bronx actually. A lot of the times, if a shop is closing, it is getting replaced by some corporation or something, and that's really sad to see. I hate seeing stuff like that.
What are your thoughts about married couples sleeping in separate rooms? I think that's... I think it's okay. As long as the communication is all right. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, I love my space and my own bed, so I feel okay about this. I think it's okay. You could have your time together and you could have your time separate. I really like my own space, so I feel totally okay about married couples sleeping in separate rooms. So
I'm married 53 years, and it's never happened unless one of us is out of town on business. So that's the worst thing to do to a marriage. The only thing is if one of you is sick, then you do it.
I think it depends. Why are they sleeping in separate rooms? If it's marital issues, that probably isn't the best thing. But if it's because someone has really bad sleep apnea and it's disturbing the other person's sleep and it's disruptive to the rest of their life because of it, then it's not such a bad thing. Yeah.
Is social media more helpful or harmful, and why? I'd say more harmful. It feels a bit like a cancer on people's minds and their independence and their interaction. I have 2 daughters, and I've just finished studying film at Columbia, so I was with a lot of 18 and 20-year-olds for the last couple of years, and I see how it takes you out of life, right? You go from this to and almost a zombie, and it's almost like we're being controlled by the phones and told, what to do and where to go. And so I'm very proud of my daughters that they both have just pop the little flip phones now and don't even have the social media. I still have it, but yeah, no, I think it's a cancer on humanity. I think the internet's got a lot of positive things, but not social media.
I'd say social media is both harmful and helpful. Helpful because of businesses that are out there. Harmful because of it affects self-esteem in a major way.
I've been on social media for a very long time, as most people my age have been. And I think, I wouldn't live without it now, but I think as a general concept, yeah, it ends up being fairly harmful, not only to people's mental health, but also to a lot of social dynamics and the way people interact in person now. I think social media is an overall detriment, but it kind of already exists, so there's not much I can do to have to stop it anymore.
What keeps you here in New York City despite the challenges? Well, I've lived here my whole life, always loved New York, but for the first time ever in all my years of being alive, I'm disappointed with New York City, and I'm beginning to think maybe we should leave and go to Florida or something like that.
Because it's New York and we love New York and everything is great in New York. The art, the people, the food. We love New York.
The opportunities and the people. I love people in New York City. I love that a lot of people here, and the people is opportunity because all the people around me, everyone I see, it's potential, my potential friends, investors, business partners, romantic relationships, and all this diversity of cultures. I'm all about diversity. I love, I'm from Russia, but I love being here because it's so diverse. So it's great, and even it's dirty, it's noisy, but I love people in New York City.
We want your view. Get ready to share your opinion when Speak Up New York hits the streets again real soon.